Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be just a slightly different format where we just play in real time and I'll capture the footage and talk through the experience. So that is going to be playing Junkyard Builder, which we're playing on the PS5. It released on the 21st of October and it's on there at $11.99. So the only thing I've done here is just knock down the audio a little bit to get rid of the background music, and we're going to jump straight in. So for full disclosure, I have already played this game a little bit and I'm going to start from scratch and take you with me. So we're going to work our way through the different tasks that we've got. So we can see there we have our current main task in the top center of the screen. We have $0 at the moment, but we do have a hammer, and we of course won't have any upgrades just yet. But we can upgrade our character, we can upgrade the market, the warehouse, and cargo containers. So let's get on. The first thing we're being prompted to do is pick up any item with L2, like so. And then we can hold L2 and rotate it. Okay, and then lastly we're being prompted to throw via R1. So as you can see at the moment we cannot throw very far. It's not one of those kind of simulators where you hold down a power button, certainly not from the outset, but I do believe you can upgrade that a little bit further into the game. So we're being prompted to put the trash paper into the dumpster, and what we can see is very helpfully that our scrapyard has got those lovely blue boxes around things that we need to pick up. So essentially from the outset we get this yard here, and we got various different materials of scrap that we can sell for dollars, and that's going to enable us to progress even through the game. So let's carry on through the tutorial and pick up this box, and we're going to head over to the dumpster, which is this blue one here. And then you can see once I've moved that into the dumpster, that converts into cash. We can actually move the dumpster as well, so for now I am going to put it somewhere in the middle of the yard, like so. Rotate. Oh, pressed the wrong button. So move. I forgot what the rotate button was now. I'm sure it does say on the screen. I am not the best at following on-screen instructions. So we press L2 and rotate with the right thumbstick, and we'll just for now pop that down there just to make life a little bit easier. And we're going to grab the rest of these boxes and get them moved into the dumpster. So once we've picked L2, there's no need to keep the trigger button held down, it will automatically grip it. There's no run button I'm aware of. So just pop that into there. And what we'll do is we'll just have a look quickly on the menu. Let's have a look. That's options rather than controls. So although I have, as I say, played the game before, I thought it'd be good to start it from scratch and a new kind of format. So hopefully this is a little bit more relaxing on the channel as a whole. I've got some episodic type things, and that is quite simulator heavy at the moment, because I just think my kind of gameplay, certainly during the week, is after work and a busy home life, so it tends to be in kind of an hour slot where really I just want to kind of chill out a little bit. So simulators scratch that itch, is that they can be quite satisfying I'm really tempted just to clear everything out of the yard from the get-go and make it nice and tidy and organised. But we'll follow the tutorial because these things are all going to come into their own a little bit further on. So we're being prompted to go and buy the yellow dumpster. X is our jump button. And we got our little warehouse section here, where we've got a few different areas. So as you can see, the bits that we need are flashing green. So we'll go to the workshop and we're being prompted to buy a container. And we're being prompted to buy the plastic dumpster for $40. We've got exactly $40. And now we're back to zero. So once we bought that, that will populate in our little yard here. And again, it's highlighted very helpfully in blue, so we can locate it. And once we press the build button, which I'll do once we get over, I'm just going to put this next to here for now. But that will, as you can see, that's going to give us the skip or the dumpster outline, and the green outline means that we can place it there. So we're now being prompted to throw 5 plastic in. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is $10 a time this time, so a little bit more cash for the trash. I made that up on the spot, impressive, I know. And we need 2 more, so you can only carry 1 item at a time early into the game. So as you can see graphically, as you expect with most simulators, they're never fantastic, but they don't really need to be. And okay, so we are now being prompted to search through some trash bags. So rather than just pick them up, you'll see down in the bottom left that we've got the circle button to search through, because in some of them is cash, and $100 is not too shabby at all. And the other trash bags will reveal what's inside them. So let's go ahead and search through 2 more, see if we can find some more dollars. Perfect. $300. Not a bad find at all. And I thought that was a roll of more dollars. That is a disposable cup. So as you can see, we are progressing quite quickly early game through the different mechanics. There's no difficulty setting, so this is just straight out the box. If we have a look actually at those settings, we've only really got, so we've got a save game option, we got some options here, so that's just the video performance, some audio, whoops, options, so the controls there are pretty simplistic. Oh, there is a sprint button. So that is the top trigger button there. So we'll give that a go and see how quick that is. Not sure that makes a massive amount of difference. It certainly does speed it up a little bit, so that'll help us get around the yard a bit quicker. It's good to know. Back to the laptop to then buy the next dumpster. There we are. So let's have a little look through what options we have on the laptop while we're here. So in the workshop, you can see that's broken down into categories. So containers we're familiar with. We can then buy different tools, which will allow us to renovate some of the stuff around our yard. Infrastructure allows us to buy a delivery point in the gate so that so we can buy scrap and have it dropped off. Vehicles, that probably get to this on this playthrough, but we can buy a scrap car to kind of move things around the yard quicker. And then we have all this machinery as well, so fair bit of depth to the game. Let's go ahead and buy the mixed waste dumpster. That's $75. So we could buy the metal dumpster as well, but let's just follow the tutorial. And I'm also gonna place that with the others. Actually, I didn't pick it up, did I? So it should be over here. Pick it up. Oh, and the box is very heavy because it will move a car. So in terms of the mechanics, as you can see, once you grab it, it does kind of rotate around. There are some collision mechanics within the game. And there is no kind of weight limit to what you can pick up. So you could pick up one of these cars, these huge metal bars. There's not really any weight limit to that. So dump 5 trash bags by putting it into the black mixed waste dumpster. We can certainly do that. And then when we put it in there, we get $15. I wonder if that's the same for every bag, because we don't know what's in here. Yeah, so I'd like to think that if there was cash, because one of them had $300 in, then perhaps we would get that back, but it seems to be pretty static at 15 quid, so or dollars should I say. So a bit like a lucky dip really. One more will see us tick that task off. Like so, and as you guessed, we can now go and get ourselves the final dumpster. So within a pretty short period of time, we've got all our different containers. So go ahead and buy that. So that's going to set us back $100. God, it really is. I do need to tidy this up. But we don't know what else. Oh, I've done the same thing. I didn't pick the dumpster up. But we don't yet know whether there's a better or more profitable use for the stuff around the yard. So we won't go and get rid of it all from the outset. Although I would like to have it clean. So I could potentially at least put the different types of scrap into piles. So as with most simulator games, that's where the gameplay loop and the kind of rewarding bit is, certainly for me. It's just a bit of a relaxed experience. So what I'm going to do, for no particular reason other than the big ones might be more useful, is I'm going to focus on just getting rid of the smaller bits of metal. So again, that's $15. So we are moving quite nicely. Oh, that one was only 13. So we're moving quite nicely through the tutorial here, or the tasks, should I say. 2 more. I'll take another one of those. And there's a couple that are a bit closer to the dumpster there, so let's go and pick those up. There we go. Okay, so as I say, we have got to the scrap cart pretty quickly. So I've not got a timer on. I want to say we're probably about 15 minutes into the game. So it's back to the laptop. See how much the cart is going to cost us. See if we got enough cash. Scrap cart. Okay, that's only 150. Perfect. And so the scrap cart should be in our yard somewhere. Yeah, of course, in the box. So we won't open it just there. We'll get it into the middle of the yard so that we can avoid all this debris. So we build that, pop that down, and then what we can do is I'm going to search through these bags before I put them into the cart, just in case we have more cash. We've got a bit of a mixed bag of stuff here, so I'm going to use that. So we need to put 5 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and oh, there we go, a triple dollar pile. So that is $300. So well worth searching through the bags, I think we can agree. We'll put that in to our cart to fulfill this bit of the mission, or the tasks. So a bit of a mixed bag of everything there. And we'll take the traffic cone as well. Where's that disappeared to? Okay, so that's full. And we can then push that around our yard. So with the cart, there's no kind of camera control with your right thumbstick, everything done on the left. And so we're being prompted to buy the wholesale upgrade, which we'll find in the upgrade panel. So to access that, we're going to press the left directional stick. And you can see there that, again, it's flashing to prompt us to look at cart upgrades. And if we cycle through those, then I believe the wholesale is at the bottom. That's going to cost us 200, and we do have, whoops, 200. I had problems with this the first time I was trying to click on it. Oh, I was doing the same thing. I have to go over to level 1, of course, first. Well, let's try that again. So, we go to cart upgrades, down to wholesale. I'm not making this... So for some reason, when I go over... that done it? Okay, I made a bit of a meal of that one. So we have 5 objects in our cart, and what that means is that when we wheel it over to the relevant bit, we can click wholesale, and what will happen is only the relevant bits from your cart will be removed. So that means that we can essentially have mixed materials in the cart rather than just having one. So next, we are being prompted to smash some items. That means accessing the hammer, which we're going to do with the right directional stick. And we'll bash up these bricks here and hope that we don't desperately need them later on in the game, because this isn't making us any money at all. Okay, so put the hammer away. Now that we know we can sprint, we'll get a wriggle on over to our warehouse. And we're being prompted to buy the cleaning brush. Okay, so we are then into our tools. And there's the brush. So as you can see, this is moving on along at quite a pace actually. And, whoops, yeah, I've just clicked on the wrong one. And we seem to have the dollars to be able to buy these without doing too much. What is going on here? Brush. So what I have noticed on the menus, it might pick up differently on the recording, but it's not massively obvious, it's probably my eyesight, which one you're clicking on. So a couple of times there when I clicked on it, I went to the wrong option. Okay, so we now have ourselves a cleaning brush, and what that means is that we can start to do some refurbishment. So essentially in our warehouse, and I know this, as I say, because I have played the game before, is This is our little refurbishment area, and then we have an assembly area here. So what we're able to do is take damaged goods that we've got throughout the yard, give them a bit of a spring clean and bring them back to life. And then this orange circle here, this is essentially where we place things into our warehouse, into storage, and we can then go and sell it on the marketplace. So let's go ahead and pick up the small cabinet that we've got here. And what you'll see is that when we get into the area, rather than the option to just throw, we've got an option to press circle to put it in, which we'll do like so. And then we're into a bit of cleaning. So we've got a little progress bar at the bottom there that shows us what we're doing. So you don't have to be spot on perfect, but you move the cursor around the cabinet whilst you press the clean button, like so. And should be pretty much there. So you can see that we have cleaned it. We're now being prompted to paint it. So let's go and see how much that's going to cost us. We got $317 up there in the top left. Hopefully that's going to be enough. So back up to tools, paint pistol. Okay, again, nice and cheap. So let's get across to buy. Did that a little bit more smoothly that time. And our paint gun is magically in the area here. So what we can do, a couple of options here, is we can just go ahead and paint it in this lovely shade of blue, but you can also change the colour. So if we press up on the directional pad, then we can move our cursor around until we find our perfect colour. So let's go with, not that it affects the price or anything, let's just go for something like that. Not too, that looks actually quite green, doesn't it? So again, similar to the cleaning mechanic, we're going to press the action button and move our cursor around the cabinet until it is fully painted. And it's pretty thick of it actually. I've got quite a sensitive cursor on here. So apologies if this is a little bit all over the place. So we now have our cabinet base. So let's pick that up. And what we can do is we can then place it into the construction area like so. And as you can see, the task now is that we have been prompted to pick up a cabinet door, which we shall do. Pop that back into the area, give that a clean. Like so. And I think we'll go for a slightly different colour actually on the door. Again, not that it impacts the sell price, but let's we'll go for a lighter green like so. And this is why I record my gameplay and not DIY around my house. Okay, so once we pick this up, so the spray gun's gone back automatically, we can pick this up and we can take it over to the assembly area, and once we've got that in roughly the right place, like so, then we can press L2 to insert it, and there we have a wonderfully refurbished and very colourful cabinet. So the individual components of that we could sell via putting it into the wood skip, but we wouldn't make as much money. So we can now pick this up. Oh, we've taken the door off. Insert, so we'll do that from around the back. Pick that up and we're going to pop it into this orange area. So again, we can press circle to put it in there, and that's gone to the inventory. So as you can see, the current main task does guide us nicely through each of these steps, and it's pretty straightforward and chilled. So let's head over to the laptop, and this time to the market option, where we can either buy goods. So you can see there's a couple of different things there available to us. But we, in this instance, want to sell, and we've just got our one cabinet in there at the moment. That's made us a lovely $75. What's next? Okay, buy the angle grinder, go to the laptop in the garage and purchase it in the workshop. So back to our tools menu, see if we got enough for the angle grinder. So that's just 100 as well, nice. That's the latest addition to our toolbox. So we've now got the brush, paint gun and the angle grinder. So we're now being prompted to grind the Moskvich body. So again, you can see that it's got the blue highlight around it. So we can, with just nothing but brute strength, we can move this car into our area like so, and we can do the same process, although we're not going to clean it this time. We're going to use the angle grinder to polish this back to a gleaming sheen, ready for some paint. And I've lost track of my cursor there. So it's a nice little mechanic there that rather than just clicking a button, it's a bit of hands-on kind of experience. I actually started, so I played Car Mechanic Simulator, and they brought that out in virtual reality, because I do have a Quest 3. It was a bit of a shame actually, because I think these sorts of things could really lend themselves to that medium where you're kind of in the environment, because you wouldn't think that this kind of layout is that challenging actually. I say that, I'm by no means a developer, so but you'd think that it could be possible is what I'm saying. So what colour shall we go for here? I think a nice Ferrari red for our Moskvich. And let's go ahead and get that on there. So again, you don't have to be perfect with this, just get it slopped on. As long as you get your all the main parts done. And then what I'll do is, once we have finished this vehicle, I'll section these videos off so that it's not kind of an hour's worth of content. So the reason that I like doing it like this is I can capture the footage directly from the PlayStation, and I can upload it without having to really do much editing, which can be a real time-consuming part. Okay, so we are being prompted to pick up a couple of tyres here. I think they're all kind of one type, and it looks like we've got a decent amount of them there. So we'll bring 4 over, although to be fair, they're pretty close anyway. So let's take our car and put it in to the assembly area, like so. And as you can see, there's a little prompt there that shows the wheels, and we've inadvertently created a noddy car by the looks of things. So we can L2 to insert, that pops the wheel on nicely. So we got a little bit of suppose power wash simulator, a little bit of car mechanic simulator, and probably some recycling center simulator, because we saw that we could operate some machines further into the game. So we'll add these wheels on, see if we can sell this vehicle, and then we will call that video number 1, and then I shall carry on with video number 2 straight after that. Okay, so we don't have to sell this at the moment, but I think we're probably going to need to in order to fund our new purchases. So I hope you've enjoyed this format. It's a little bit more relaxed. The game is Junkyard Builder on the PS5, $11.99, and it's a really quite chilled experience, although my yard is very messy and I'm fighting the urge to clean it up at this point. If you could give the video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, that is much appreciated. I am trying to grow the channel with various different formats, different content, and so really appreciate those subscribes. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.